I've known a lot of fish in my life. I've loved only two. That first one was, it was more like a passionate affair. It was a beautiful fish. Flavorful, textured, meaty. A bestseller on the menu. What a fish. Even better, it was farm raised to the supposed highest standards of sustainability. So you can feel good about selling it. I was in a relationship with this beauty for several months. One day, the head of the company called and asked if I'd speak at an event about the farm's sustainability. Absolutely, I said. Here was a company trying to solve what's become this unimaginable problem for us chefs. How do we keep fish on our menus? For the past 50 years, we've been fishing the seas like we clear-cut forests. It's hard to overstate the destruction. 90% of large fish, the ones we love, the tunas, the halibuts, the salmons, swordfish, they've collapsed. There's almost nothing left. So for better or for worse, aquaculture, fish farming, is going to be part of our future. A lot of arguments against it. Fish farms pollute. Most of them do anyway. And they're inefficient. Take tuna, a major drawback. It's got a feed conversion ratio of 15 to 1. That means it takes 15 pounds of wild fish to get you 1 pound of farm tuna. Not very sustainable. It doesn't taste very good either. So here finally was a company trying to do it right. I wanted to support them. The day before the event, I called the head of PR for the company. Let's call him Don. Don, I said, just to get the facts straight, you guys are famous for farming so far out to sea, you don't pollute. That's right, he said. We're so far out, the waste from our fish gets distributed, not concentrated. And then he added, we're basically a world unto ourselves. That feed conversion ratio, 2.5 to 1, he said, best in the business. 2.5 to 1, great. Like, 2.5 what? What are you feeding? Sustainable proteins, he said. Great, I said. Got off the phone. And that night I was lying in bed and I thought, what the hell is a sustainable protein? So the next day, just before the event, I called Don. I said, Don, what are some examples of sustainable proteins? He said he didn't know. He would ask around. Well, I got on the phone with a few people in the company. No one could give me a straight answer. Until finally, I got on the phone with the head biologist. Let's call him Don, too. Don, I said, what are some examples of sustainable proteins? Well, he mentioned some algae and some fish meals, and then he said chicken pellets. I said, chicken pellets? He said, yeah, feathers, skin, bone meal, scraps, dried and processed into feed. I said, what percentage of your feed is chicken? Thinking, 2%. Oh, it's about 30%, he said. I said, Don, what's sustainable about feeding chicken to fish? There was a long pause on the line. And he said, there's just too much chicken in the world. Okay, I fell out of love with this fish. Now, not because I'm some self-righteous, two-shoes foodie. I actually am. No, I fell out of love with this fish because I swear to God, after that conversation, the fish tasted like chicken. This second fish, well, it's a different kind of love story. It's the romantic kind. The kind where the more you get to know your fish, you love the fish. I ate it at a restaurant in southern Spain. A journalist friend had been talking about this fish for a long time. She kind of set us up. Okay, it came to the table a bright, almost shimmering white color. The chef had overcooked it, like twice over. Okay. Amazingly, it was still delicious. Who can make a fish taste good after it's been overcooked? I can't. But this guy can. Let's call him Miguel. Actually, his name is Miguel. And no, he didn't cook the fish, and he's not a chef, at least in the way that you and I understand it. He's a biologist at Veta La Palma. It's a fish farm in the southwestern corner of Spain. It's at the tip of the Guadalquivir River. Until the 1980s, the farm was in the hands of the Argentinians. They raised beef cattle on what was essentially wetlands. They did it by draining the land. They built this intricate series of canals, and they pushed water off the land and out into the river. Well, they couldn't make it work, not economically. And ecologically, it was a disaster. Killed like 90% of the birds, which for this place is a lot of birds. And so in 1982, a Spanish company with an environmental conscience purchased the land. What did they do? They reversed the flow of water. They literally flipped the switch. Instead of pushing water out, they used the channels to pull water back in. They flooded the canals. They created a 27,000-acre fish farm. Bass, mullet, shrimp, eel. And in the process, Miguel and this company completely reversed the ecological destruction. The farm's incredible. I mean, you've never